Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and completely flip how you think about success and giving up. Look, if you're a high-achieving, goal-oriented person, you're used to hitting obstacles, right? And when you hit those walls, you probably feel like throwing in the towel. Well, today, based on Seth Godin's seriously contrarian insights, we're going to rebuild your whole understanding of those moments. This explainer draws directly from Godin's brilliant little book, The Dip. Now, the subtitle promises something pretty counterintuitive. It's going to teach you exactly when to quit and when to stick. See, quitting gets a really bad rap in our society, but Godin makes the compelling case that strategic quitting is actually the ultimate secret weapon for successful people and organizations.
We've all heard this classic advice since we were kids. Quitters never win, and winners never quit. When things get tough, we practically have this Vince Lombardi quote on a loop in our heads. It's drilled into us. But, as we're about to see, this is actually terrible advice if your goal is to be the absolute best.
Because here's the crucial truth. Winners quit all the time. They just quit the right stuff at the right time. Sure, extraordinary benefits go to the tiny minority who push just a little bit longer than everyone else. But those same massive benefits also go to those with the guts to quit early and refocus their energy. Today, we're totally shattering the myth of blind perseverance.
Here's the roadmap for how we're going to break down strategic quitting. We'll cover the myth of quitting, being the best in the world, the 3 key curves, embracing the dip, and finally, having the guts to quit. Section 1. The myth of quitting. Let's start with the hard truth. Systems in society actually profit from you being a quitter. Think of a gym. They literally rely on uncommitted members paying dues to subsidize the highly motivated ones. Moving to Section 2, being best in the world and the power of Zipf's law. Before we figure out how to quit, we really need to understand why being number 1 is the absolute only goal worth striving for.
In a free market, we reward the exceptional. When faced with infinite choices, markets kind of panic and just look for the clear leader. This creates a steep curve known as Zipf's law, where the winner gets exponentially more than everyone else. Just look at the August 2006 box office data. The rewards for being at the top, like the movie Talladega Nights, are 10 or even 100 times higher than coming in 4th, like Beerfest. The market just loves a winner. The number 1 spot doesn't just get a little edge, they take home the whole shebang.
To really prove the value of this scarcity, consider Hannah Smith's story from our source material. She was one of only 37 law school graduates out of 42,000 to land a Supreme Court clerkship. Those 37 people, they're practically guaranteed a top-tier job for life, and elite law firms routinely hand them a $200,000 signing bonus. Any of those 42,000 grads could have had her job, but they didn't. Not because they lacked smarts, but because somewhere along the way, they quit. Hannah got there by strategically quitting countless other pursuits to intensely focus on being the absolute best in her specific world. Section 3, the 3 key curves. A map for quitting. Understanding these 3 shapes will basically dictate how you plan your career, your business, and really, your life. Curve number 1 is the dip. You know the feeling. You start something new, it's super fun, and you learn fast. But then, the dip happens. It's that long, brutal slog between starting and actual mastery. But here's the secret. It's actually a shortcut to success disguised as a painful roadblock. Think about organic chemistry in college. Academia uses it as a killer class to screen out unmotivated pre-med students. The dip creates scarcity, and as we know, scarcity creates value. Our second curve is the cul-de-sac, which is literally just French for dead end. This is a situation where you work and work, but nothing much changes. It doesn't get way better, and it doesn't get worse. You're just spinning your wheels. The absolutely crucial thing to understand here is that the opportunity cost of staying in a cul-de-sac is simply too high. If you find yourself in a dead end, you've got to get out, fast. The final curve is the cliff. It's rare, but it's scary. A perfect example is the addictiveness of smoking cigarettes. With a cliff, a situation is designed to feel really good for a long time, but the pain of quitting just gets bigger and bigger until you finally fall off the edge and total disaster strikes. If you're facing a cliff or a cul-de-sac, you must quit immediately. No questions asked. Section 4. Embracing the dip and sticking with the right stuff. Knowing these curves exist is just step 1. Now we have to figure out how to contrast a healthy dip with a toxic cul-de-sac. We know organic chemistry screens people out so only the best become doctors. That's a dip. But consider the space shuttle program. It wasn't getting safer, it wasn't getting cheaper, it was a massive cul-de-sac. The only reason it dragged on for so long is because no one had the guts to cancel it. We so often just suffer through things we're accustomed to.
rather than making the tough strategic choice to quit. This philosophy of strategic quitting goes right up to the highest levels of business. Former GE CEO Jack Welch famously decided that if a division couldn't be number 1 or number 2 in its industry, GE would sell it. Even if a division was ranked 4th and making a billion-dollar profit, Welch knew it was a distraction. It sucked away management attention and precious energy. Quitting those dead ends freed up his resources to go conquer the real dips in his other businesses.
Section 5. The guts to quit and avoiding failure.
Let's be real. Quitting requires acknowledging that you're never going to be number 1, which is a tough pill to swallow for the ego. The source material outlines 7 predictable pitfalls that cause people or organizations to fail: running out of time, running out of money, getting scared, not being serious, losing interest, focusing on the short term, or just picking the wrong pursuit for your specific talent. The magic here? You can plan around these before you even start. You can actually evaluate in advance if you have the resources to survive the dip.
Think about learning to snowboard. It's a notoriously painful dip, which is exactly why so few people do it well. The brave thing to do is tough it out, get to the other side, and reap all the benefits of that scarcity. The mature thing is to not even bother starting, because you know up front you don't have the time or energy to survive the dip. But the stupid thing, literally the worst possible choice you can make, is to start, waste a ton of time and money, and then quit right in the middle when it gets hard.
So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought to evaluate your own life choices and current projects. Are you just settling for a cul-de-sac because it's comfortable and you're afraid to shake things up? Or do you actually have the courage to quit the wrong things today so you can free up your resources to conquer the right dips tomorrow?